What's good, YouTube? My name is Melly Scales, if you don't know who I am. And today I'm going to be getting right into some detail on how to do some effective product research going into 2026. As you know, trends in business is always changing, so it's best to stay up to par on knowledge on how to do the best product research so you can scale your next stores. Let's get right into it. All right, so starting off, there's actually some product research criteria that I like to go through every single time that I'm finding my products. Here's the list that I got for you guys. First, obviously, the items need to be priced within a certain range. So I like to look within the $20 to $60 price range. If it's a little bit too high of a price, it's going to be hard to acquire a customer because people think about it before they pay. But if it's too low, you're not going to have the right margins to actually be profitable. So I like to stay in that $20 to $60 range to actually find profitability and acquire customers at a good price point. I also like the items to be lightweight and compact because if they're too heavy, and they're very bulky, the shipping prices are going to be out of this world. They're going to be astronomical, and you do not want to deal with that. I've tried to sell items before that were just too heavy, too high of a price range, and I was just getting clapped on the back end. So I was like, nah, I'm never doing that again. It's best to sell lightweight items within that price range that you could actually get at good shipping rates because obviously we're shipping it from China to our customer, whether it's in America, Canada, Australia, UK, wherever it's at. So keep those two in mind when you're first just looking through your items. But to get into more detail, the item needs to have high perceived value. So if we could sell it for a higher end, like $60, but the item costs us maybe $10 from our supplier, that means it actually has a higher perceived value. An example that I like to give for this, Apple iPhones, the iPhone that we use every single day. Apple, they could sell those items for $1,000, $2,000, but I'm very certain that they could probably source every part, everything that goes into the iPhone for under $100, maybe $200. But it has such a high perceived value that anybody is willing to pay that $1,000 to $2,000 range, and it has a very high perceived value. So when we're looking at our items, think of it like that. We could source it for a very low price, but we could sell it for a very high price compared to how much it costs us, and that means high perceived value. Another thing that I like is for the item to visually sell itself. It's good to have items that visually sell itself because, of course, we're going to be making ads to acquire customers onto our store, and we need the item to actually tell the people what it does without even having to tell them what it does. We're going to have copy, which is the words that we put onto our ads and whatever the voiceover or whatever is being spoken to onto the ads in the background. We'll have that there, but it's so much better if a customer could just look at the item and just understand what it's going to do for them and can visually see it involved in their life and how it can benefit them. The next five are going to be it solves a real problem, it has multiple marketing angles, and has proof of concept. So I put all of these kind of together at one time. If it solves a real problem, which is just something that somebody deals with every day in their life, whether it's their teeth are yellow, they want them to be white, they're fat, they want to be skinny, they're balding, they want to get their hair back. These are all just problems that people deal with every day in their life. You may not deal with it, but there's somebody out there, and there's millions of people out there probably that deal with that as long as you hit the right marketing angles. So that brings us on to the marketing angle part, which is some of these items only have one angle you can market. So if it's hair loss, you can market that to multiple people, which is going to be your customer avatar. It could be women, it could be men, it could be different age groups. It could be why they're balding. But if it's like a toy, it's going to be very hard to take multiple angles, whether it's like, oh, the grandma giving it to her grandson, or the mom giving it to her son, or the dad giving it to his daughter. As long as it has multiple marketing angles, it's good. And the more the merrier, the more the better, because when we run ads, eventually these marketing angles are going to be burnt out, and we're going to have to move on to the next concept to test. And if we have like 8 concepts to test, that's when you can scale a product very far and make a lot of money. The next thing is the proof of concept and trends. A thing that I like to use to find this is Google Trends, and I'll show you later on when I'm doing this product research. Google Trends will tell you if a product is trending right now, if it trends seasonally, if it's been going up over the past 5 years, things of that nature. So it's good to always check that for the item to make sure that we're not just selling an item that's not going to actually sell right now. We want to see if the market actually wants this. And if they do want it, we could get in there and get a piece of the pie. So if it's evergreen or seasonal, it really doesn't matter. Evergreen is better because if we're turning it into a real brand that we're going to run year round, it needs to be evergreen. If it's seasonal, like during this time of year, Black Friday just happened, Christmas is coming up, so you can sell seasonal items right now and scale up super fast, make a ton of money in a short period of time, like a month, and kind of just leave that product after the season is over and get back into your real brand, which is going to be the evergreen item. So whether it's seasonal time of year or it's the beginning of the year or throughout the year, you could just choose what type of items you're going to be running. But it's always good to have your evergreen item that you can just run year round so you can have that constant flow of income. And last thing is easy to fulfill and low defect rate. You don't want something that's like a mirror. If you ship a mirror, it's going to definitely crack by the time it gets from China to America or whatever country you're shipping it to. And you'll just get, messed up on the back end. You'll have to pay for all that just because, they're not probably as careful with the items when they're shipping them. And you want it to be easy to fulfill. If it's a device or something like that, that could have a defect as well. It's kind of risky. So, like I said, all of these are very good bullet points and things to keep in mind. Whether you take a picture of this, write it down as notes, keep this in mind every time you're doing product research. And we're going to get right into a platform called Calidata that I actually use. I wanted to take another pause to let you know that I actually do work with clients one-on-one. And if you're actually interested in working with me one-on-one, I have a Calendly link down below, and you can book a call with me and my team to see if you're actually a good fit to work with me. A lot of us deal with information overload when we get all of this free information, learning from this guy and that guru and that guru. But whenever you have somebody that you can work with one-on-one that could tweak your stores and analyze where you're going wrong, and just learning from one person, it's a whole lot easier to scale to your success, and I'm just here to help you. So if you're interested in learning with me, then you can book a call with me and my team, and I'll see you on the other side. So Calidata is a platform where you could see all the backend data for items being sold on TikTok as you see. And TikTok is really good. There's millions of items on there. There's items that are doing multi-million-dollar months. There's items that are doing just a few $100s a day. So you could check the whole spectrum. You could check the graphs. You could see how well it's performing each and every day. You could take ads from it. You can do all of that just on this platform. So if you've never heard about Calidata, it's very important to have this whenever you're doing product research and trying to create ads starting off. So coming to the product page, this is kind of how it looks. You can see the graphs on the top items. This is one of the top items right now, going in order down 1 through 10 of the top items. And you can go through all these pages. There's 183,000 pages. So that just shows you there's probably millions of products on TikTok Shop right now. So the filters are the most important thing. A lot of people have different ways of checking their filters. What I like to do is check the last 7 days. Sometimes I check the last 30 days, but the last 7 days tells you what's really going on. Most recently, revenue, I like to keep it within a certain range. So I'll probably put this at 100,000 for now, just for the purpose of the video, as tops, and then we could go backwards and see anything underneath 100,000. Items sold, I don't really worry about that. Content source, I do like to say video because some of them just get sales from lives, and we don't want that. We're running ads, so we need videos. And growth rate, I like to look for anything above like a 20 or 30% growth rate. So I'm gonna put 20 for right now. And like I said, that the average unit price, I said 20 to 60, but we could also, vary from that just a little bit because a $15 item you could sell for 20, so that doesn't matter. So I'll say 15 to, let's say 75, and I'll apply that, and then we'll push submit. So these are the items that are showing up right now. I like to just go through them, see if there's anything visually appealing about it. I like to stay away from clothing because items that are clothing do not always fit, and you'll get a lot of returns because people won't be happy. But anything that stands out. So this would be a good seasonal item. People like to decorate, things like that. And, they're in the holiday spirit right now. So this could be a good item to ship during this time of year. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to be only looking for evergreen items, things that you could turn into a real brand. And yeah, let's see what we can find. All right, so I see this collapsible hiking stick. I'm going to click on this real quick to see how it's doing. Last 180 days, it's had some variation in performance, but as you can see recently, it's actually doing very well. It's in an upwards trend right now. Let me watch some videos to see what the item actually does. Okay, so this item obviously has a lot of features to it, a lot of marketing angles because of everything that's a part of this item. I really wonder how heavy this box is. It looks like it's going to have some weight to it because everything's metal. So that may not tick off our part where we say lightweight and compact. But if it was lightweight and compact, I could ask my supplier and see how much this would cost to ship. This would be a very good item because it solves a problem, especially for people that are into the camping and outdoor lifestyle that just need any of these tools all in one, makes it even better. And as you see, it's trending pretty well. So I'm going to check one thing like I do whenever I'm looking for my products. I'm going to go to Google Trends and I'm going to look up hiking, just keywords that kind of fit this product. And I'm going to check the past 5 years and see how it's doing. So looks like it's in a sideways trend. Hiking isn't really in an upwards trend right now or trending at all. I'll say camping. Okay, so as you can see, it always trends during a certain time of year, which looks like summer. Yep, summertime, it always peaks. Summertime, it always peaks. Okay, so like ideally, this item would probably be good to start scaling up during maybe like March time, right when spring is about to hit, because obviously it peaks every summer. So everybody's going to be using this for camping or hiking. Maybe another thing you could look for is outdoors. That's in like a sideways trend. You could say it's somewhat downwards, but mostly in a sideways trend. So not really trending, but camping is trending during a certain time of year. So this would be a good item to sell during that time of year. Solves all of these problems, has all of these features. So very good item. So coming through here, I see this item right here. It says travel vacuum compression storage bag. Looks like it would have a lot of use to the customer, but I could tell this isn't going to have a high perceived value because it's just a plastic bag. It does compress the clothes, but at the end of the day, it's a plastic bag. Probably is very cheaply made and it could be thrown away. So people aren't really willing to pay a ton of money for plastic bags. But as you see, it's selling for around $26, $27. So that just shows you the perceived value on it isn't super crazy. This one, Wet and Wild Bundle. This looks like a supplement. So supplements are very good, of course, because they solve problems. And this is obviously vaginal moisture problem or probiotics. So probably the smell. It's talking about pH, odor, balance, flora. So these do a combination of both. And a lot of women probably deal with that. I wouldn't know unless you're a woman. You don't know the problems that they deal with. But if you see the trends are going up on it, you could only trust that this is actually a problem that women are dealing with. You can see it's an upwards trend. So I'm just going to look up Google Trends, women probiotic. Okay, so it's an upwards trend every year, kind of spikes at the beginning of the year. This technically is a year-round item that you can sell because obviously at the New Year's, women are very cognizant of how they smell and I guess their sexual, life and everything because they're dealing with the vaginal moisture plus mood. So this is a supplement, problem solving. It's gonna be lightweight because it comes in a small container, it's going to have a higher perceived value because people will pay, up to hundreds of dollars for supplements if they're getting the job done. It might not visually sell itself, but it's visually attractive. It's in a pink bottle, so to women, that's going to kind of call them out, like, oh, this might be for me. Whenever somebody's explaining it over the video, solves a real problem. Multiple marketing angles. Of course, you can market it for odor, pH, balance, sexual function, healthy vaginal moisture, mood and relaxation. These are all marketing angles. This is like 7 of them that I just named. So we could dial in on each one of these marketing angles one at a time. And once they get burnt out and we've reached all the customers on it, we can just move on to the next one and keep this product running all year round. Seems like it's trending pretty well right now. It's been an upwards trend pretty much since it dropped in June. So this is something that I would sell personally. I'm going to keep that there. I'm going to try to find and show you guys a few more products. So this next one is Nello Super Focus. Looks like another supplement or digestible. Okay, looks like it goes in the drink. Okay, so from what I could tell, it's just, I guess, like a powder you could pour into your drink, and it helps with dopamine, enhances memory and focus, supports cognitive function, encourages mental endurance, promotes learning ability. So, kind of like there's a gum that's called, I forget what the name of it is, neurogum. So, it's kind of like neurogum, but in a powder drink form. And neurogum is kind of like a certain drug out there that a lot of people take when they're on ADHD. I won't say it, but you kind of know what I'm talking about. And so what I would do is I'll just see if any of these things are trending right now. So maybe brain health, brain health. Okay, so brain health has really been going up in the past couple years. This is a very good like chart. I'm so happy I found this one on video because this just shows you of like an item that you would actually want to sell because of how good the trend looks. It's been going up every single year, and pretty much people are going to be more focused on their mental health constantly. There's not like really a certain time of year that it spikes up, but it's just in a constant, you know, upwards movement. Let me see if there's any other ones, any keywords. Memory, memories, and sideways trend. Let's see what else we have. Brain fog. Let's see if that's a trend. I'm sure people have brain fog after COVID. Kind of spiked up in COVID at a certain point, but I would say this is still like a upward slash sideways trend. So it's kind of holding its own, but the first one, which was, brain health, that was a very good one. Let me try mental stamina. And maybe I'll look up some of the ingredients inside of it. Okay, mental stamina is not there. Lion's mane. Okay, lion's mane's been an upwards trend a little bit, but recently it's been going down. So I guess it peaked towards the end of 2024, but I guess people have been taking it, so it's not as trendy as it used to be. But overall, this is a pretty good item. Has at least 4 marketing angles, probably some more that you could get into just because there's probably sub marketing angles, like sub niches underneath each one of these angles that you could take. So there's at least 4, but there's probably like 12 angles you could actually take from just this one product, and it could help in all of those ways. So what I'm gonna do is look up Nello Super Focus on Reddit. This is how I actually see what angles there are. And you're just hearing straight from the customer. So Reddit forums, people kind of just speak their heart out because they're just talking on here. What am I looking up again? Nello Super Focus. All right, another super focus. Has anyone tried the drink? 13 comments. So let's just read what people are saying. I'm a writer with ADHD and pretty intense anxiety. I tried it for a couple months but had to stop due to some delivery issues. That month was hell. I have other ways to manage my focus, but definitely noticed a big difference when I was off Nello. I did also notice a slight decrease in water retention around my jaw and cheeks, but I can't confidently say that it was positive. Positively affected swelling. Okay, so she's basically saying this helped with her ADHD, just like Adderall does, but this is a better, alternative because it's not a drug that's going to get you hooked. But she does say this got her kind of hooked whenever she was off of it. She was not enjoying her life. So, um, yeah, that's an angle to take. ADHD. Do you have ADHD? We have a solution for you. I've been taking it for a few days and I enjoy it so far. I'm trying to figure out if I'm crashing due to hunger or what around 6. Ashwagandha is best taken in the afternoon, evening, so drinking Nello around noon to start is your best bet. Okay, so they're using this for energy and they're using this for ADHD. So that's two marketing angles. So I'm sipping on my first Nello mixed drink. I use. Okay, let's read this one. It's kind of long. I'm switching to the subscription now. I've been using it for a good 6 months daily, consistently. I fell for the trend when it first came out on TikTok Shop, and I took photos daily for 1 month. It's hard to notice right away, but it definitely makes me calmer in stressful environments. It doesn't fully take away my anxiety, but it's more controlled. Before I even finish this, she had anxiety. She's taking this to feel more calm in her moments of anxiety. That's actually a great angle to take because a lot of people deal with anxiety in their everyday life. Just some people just are not people persons. So this is another great marketing angle to take. And she typed out a whole paragraph, so she definitely feels some type of way about this product and how it's helped her. I also use Aura Ring, and my sleep has improved. Less waking up throughout the night. That's another anxiety thing if you're just waking up in the middle of the night, probably. In terms of photos, there were selfies on my face, and my jaw definitely was slimmer, and my eye bags less noticeable. So she felt like she looked tired. She felt like she probably looked like stressed and had weight, just saggy face. And this item helped with that too. So that's a ton of marketing angles that this product can actually do, a ton of marketing angles that we can actually take on this. And that's probably why it's such a good item. It's been trending or it's been scaling upwards since around September. And, it's slowly an upwards trend. It's been out for some time, so it kind of peaked down for a little bit, but it's back coming back up. And there's lots of content out here too. That's another big thing that I didn't put on here. Lots of content. So that's going to be the last part. Lots of content because we need ads. So, of course, we're going to eventually get to the point of making our own ads. But starting off, you want to just test and see what's already working. And there's lots of content out here for this product. So why not just use it? We're taking it from TikTok, putting it on Facebook, and seeing what works and what angles work. And there's lots of content out here. So this is a very good item. Another thing that I'll do whenever I'm checking these items is I want to see if there's a lot of competitors. So I'm going to look up maybe nootropic drink mix. I won't look up Nello Super Focus because when we're doing branded ecom, we're going to be branding our own items. So I would take this Nello and I would probably put my logo right here and cover up wherever it says Nello and put my logo so it looks branded in my store's way, and eventually get some good product photos that fit. But these are very good product photos. They have some social proof in here and just some facts about the items. I'll come to Facebook ad library. I don't know if you ever use this, but just type in Facebook ad library and then change this to all ads, and then you'll type in just keywords for your product. So nootropic drink, and let's see how many competitors there are. Okay, so I can check this one. This is a different item. For the most part, you'll be able to tell whenever there's a competitor because you'll just see like your item on there. I'll just say super focus. It's one word. Super focus. Okay, so this is like a real brand at this point. This is like super scaled up. I'm sure they're doing like crazy numbers. Um, I could be wrong, but yeah, like this probably is wrong, but they're getting at least 50K months, if not 100K plus months, maybe $500,000 months, based off of how their website looks at this point. They changed the logo, how I said. They just really dialed in their website. I could already tell their ads are pretty good too because they're making like their own AI ads and everything. But whenever you're finding items, you want to try to find an item that has the least amount of competitors. So that's why whenever I'm putting in these filters over here, I don't want to just look up the most popular item. It's honestly best to come way back here and find items that have, you know, they're not doing a large amount this month. So, like, maybe put this to 30K and let's see what shows up. Okay, this stands out. This is some skincare product for dark spots correcting serum. A lot of people deal with that. Not too many marketing angles to take on it because it's just for spots, but that is an item that solves a problem. So that's a good one right there. What is this? Okay, this is just a digital, like, yeah, a digital angle finder. That's what it's called. But solves a problem, but it's not a big enough problem to really like market to people like that. And they're not gonna want to pay a lot of money for some shit like that. You could just go to Home Depot and just get an item with the liquid and the bubble inside of it and do it that way. But yeah, all in all, I come to items that aren't getting a lot of sales because there won't be as many competitors. With the Nello Super Focus, I came on here, there's somebody already scaling it up, so it's going to be hard to come in here and actually beat them out as a competitor. I mean, there's only one competitor. If there's more than like two or three competitors, then it's going to be hard to actually turn your brand into a real brand because the competitors are going to have already hit a lot of the angles. So it's best to have, maybe two at the max, but the less competitors, the better. The more content, the better. And obviously, you want to hit all of these bullet points whenever you're doing your product research. And yeah. So that will be the end of the video, guys. I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. This product research method is goated. So make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment what you actually learned from this video. And make sure you share it if you know somebody that can actually put this to use. My job is to provide free value and free sauce to you guys. So I hope I actually did that for you guys today. And if you like to follow along for lifestyle content, make sure you follow my Instagram, which is @MellyScales, where I post a lot of daily content. And like I said, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, make sure you book a call with me and my team to see if you're a good fit. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.